Hi, Sagittarius. Welcome to the merry, merry month of May, your general reading. And I'm glad you're here. Thanks. We have what is shown as an armada of sorts. It's our ship that we are plying the waves with. And it consists of one mothership-sized triangle, and then three smaller subheading triangles, which are archetypal forces, blended energies, all major arcana, because it's in our spiritual biosphere we have, which is one living, breathing entity. We have an umbrella that is radiating influence, if you will, down. And that is these. And then we have yin, and then we have yang. So before we get to those, let's talk about the umbrella, the archetypal forces. And what's at the prow of the mothership, which is this card right here, that which cleaves the waves and cuts the way, if you will, through the waters to the future, is the Chariot, and followed by Judgment, and then followed by the Wheel. So something's got to go. That was what came out when I pulled this card. This might seem odd, but not when you consider what's here. So something's got to go. And I think what it is the idea that you've been thinking that everything was ducky, if you will, by having achieved the status of the Charioteer that's depicted here. And in fact, that is just, it's an achievement, and it's the end of the first tier of 7 major arcana cards, fine, but it's not the end game. It is merely the first phase, because we have to go forward. After learning all the things, what has preceded the Chariot card have been all the training things, all the fundamentals, all the boot camp kind of stuff, being exposed to the mysteries of the high priestess, the power of the empress and the emperor, the spiritual guidance of the Hierophant, and then the understanding of the I and thou in the lovers. Yeah, it makes you feel like you could be there. You could have achieved your goal, except the chariot is not to sit there. The fact that you could now ride your chariot is not to imply that you should stay where you are. And in fact, it's got to go. Something has to go. In the month of May, it's being said that the month of May is a prime time to tackle this. Because obviously, if it's been sitting there, it's gotten pretty cozy. So it's got to get uncozy. And the way to get that happening is to visit the Judgment card. Scorpio, the death of something, but also the rebirth. And I think what you're going to be rebirthing is yourself into getting off the dime. And then this obviously pertains to schmoozing energy that, covers everything within this spiritual biosphere. But in fact, getting off the dime is fair game. Allowing the rebirth, allowing a new awareness about your status as the Charioteer propels you forward to a life-changing scenario. A turn of the wheel. Of course. How could it not be that? When you transition from the first tier, the end of the first tier of the major arcana of 7 cards, and you start the second tier, how could that not turn the wheel? Just, you got to go through it, though, to turn the wheel. You have to make the moves. So if you want to use the chariot for anything, use it to ride into the second tier. Allow the rebirth. Yin. At your prow of your little sailing craft is an Ace of Cups, which is delightful. The world is your oyster in terms of potential for the month of May. And I think that the cards are saying that do not hesitate, seize the day, seize the moment. There's a reason for that. And the reason is that you have to go through a trial by fire. 7 of Wands, so fire. And you have to go through some sort of a trial in just by wanting to take advantage of this Ace of Cups. The trial is to understand the reason. I mean, it's just energy. If it just sits there as energy, and it doesn't get applied, it's meaningless. So the 7 of Wands we're talking about here is for something. And it needs to be applied to the grinding wheel, the millstone of your inner being, to crunch through what is going to be the best application of this new beginning energy, and to give it to something that is a higher love than you've experienced up to this point. Now that could be a love of self, but also it could be a love of someone else. And the 8 of Cups in May for a lot of the signs has been coming up. So this May in 2021 must have this energy of unique opportunities to walk into what Stevie Winwood sang about, bring me a higher love, the higher love. Something that in your heart of hearts, you are almost reluctant to admit it out loud, but it's what you want. And it's what it's there for you, and you deserve it as much as anyone. So why not make the moves? Because you cannot go wrong by making the moves of, having a reverence almost for this Ace of Cups opportunity, and then having the gratitude for being given an opportunity to try it out, to be challenged, and to be able to come out knowing who you are and what you want in a higher love. Being specific in what I've heard about the law of attraction, being specific about what you want to attract allows the universe to be specific about giving it to you. Yang. What's at your prow? Where are you cutting through the waves? Well, 7 of Cups. So you're not there yet in terms of where you want to be, but you are certainly at a point where you can take confidence with you that you're ready for the next step in your emotions. What's interesting to me, Sagittarius, is that although the cups are there as your prow, that's the operation that you're in the process that is the overall for you, Yang. All you have is air. So airy qualities are what will drive the opportunity to go to that next step. Maybe even to blow some energy or to inflate that balloon of empowerment in you that will allow you the confidence to walk forward and to do what needs to be done, or say or feel or think what needs to be done to accomplish what you want. And having under your belt a completed thought process could mean that, in fact, you've done the work mentally to prepare yourself to take this step. And yet, unless you acknowledge that you've completed this and go past that card that, like with the Rider-Waite, is shown as a person with 10 swords sticking out of them, and go past that by acknowledging that I'm done, right? And when you're done, then you open the door to a new level of a new beginning. And that new beginning, if it wants to be this in your emotions and wants to get a partner cup to go with this one solo one that's in the center, you're sitting there waiting for your partner cup to show up like it does in the Eight of Cups, then what better standpoint to think a strategy and to occupy a leadership role and understanding what you're doing about that leadership role than to have the King of Swords. So there's a lot of thought involved, intellect, if you will, thinking about it, that is involved as the foundation and basis for your solution getting to what you want in your emotions, in your heart, let's say. And with that, I will leave it, with the exception of having a quick recap. Yin, we got you with a gargantuan opportunity, a new opportunity to hit a home run, to really bat like you've never batted before, right? That's the kind of newness. Let's say you've even got one out and, it went off the wall or went to the track, but you never got it over the fence. This is the month to pull one out of the park. Go through what you got to go through, a trial by fire to get there, because what's waiting for you on the other side is a higher love. Yang, your focus seems to be on another case of the matters of the heart, if you will, waiting for that person that with your wholeness is another whole person that you can join with, and you can be that magical quality where 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, because you're both whole beings by yourself. And to do that, acknowledge that you got to walk away from the completion of some kind of a trial that you went through, and it left you in the dust with 10 swords sticking out of you. Well, it's time to go into the other side of that coin, which is that the ending and the completion equals a new beginning. And by doing that, by turning the corner on that and getting into the idea of the new beginning, it puts you on the throne, your own internal throne, which you deserve also. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next month. And until then, be well. Love you all. Bye for now.